Yuki Tsunoda's Imola weekend was nothing short of a disaster. A heavy crash in qualifying didn't just leave the RB21 in pieces, it left Red Bull's accountants wincing at the skyrocketing repair costs. For a driver already under intense scrutiny, this was the kind of performance that fans, and more importantly, bosses, won't easily forget. With Max Verstappen now deep in the title hunt, Red Bull may be re-evaluating every component of their driver lineup. Could this misstep from Yuki accelerate the search for a fresh face behind the wheel? And if that time has come, who has the nerve, skill, and political favour to step into the hot seat? Yuki Tsunoda handed Red Bull a serious headache at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. The crash in qualifying didn't just crunch carbon fibre, it detonated the team's race weekend and left a gaping hole in their budget. Yes, he clawed back to a P10 finish, but let's not pretend it balances the books or erases the chaos that followed. The impact was so severe that the team had to bolt on a completely new chassis, cobbling it together with parts from a different spec, something that immediately triggered a breach of Parc Fermé regulations. That meant Yuki's race had to begin from the pit lane, a painful blow in a sport where grid position is everything. To make things more complicated, Red Bull swapped out nearly every major power unit component: a fresh engine, turbo, MGU-H, MGU-K, battery, control electronics, and exhaust. Sure, it was all within his season quota, but that's not exactly the kind of pit stop any team dreams of. Helmut Marko wasn't hiding his frustration either. While everyone was relieved to see Tsunoda walk away unharmed, the fallout from Imola has put the team in a very tight spot. Safe and sound? Yes, but the cost of that safety might just echo louder in Red Bull's strategy meetings than anyone expected. Helmut Marko didn't mince words when laying out just how precarious things have become at Red Bull. "Thank God nothing happened to Tsunoda personally," he said, but quickly added, "What's been keeping the team up at night? It's a huge setback for us. That's 3 races in a row now, and with Monaco up next, a track that punishes even the smallest mistake, we're in a seriously vulnerable position. Our spare part situation is hanging by a thread. We need to give Tsunoda confidence and support, and we will." Now that the adrenaline has worn off and the carbon shards have been swept up, Red Bull is left staring at some pretty nasty repair costs. Costs that could have gone into development, into upgrades, into Verstappen's title charge. Instead, they're patching up the aftermath, and here's the kicker: Verstappen is gaining ground. He trimmed 10 points off Piastri's lead and closed in on Norris too. The last thing the team needs is a cash crunch caused by an accident in the sister car. This is the kind of pressure that can either forge greatness or shatter a career. And right now, Yuki Tsunoda looks dangerously close to the latter. The weight on his shoulders has only grown heavier with each passing race, especially after his latest crash in Imola, which came hot on the heels of his Jeddah incident. That's 2 major strikes in a season that's still young, and in a sport as cutthroat as Formula One, forgiveness doesn't come easily. Tsunoda's fully aware he's skating on thin ice, and the whispers about a mid-season replacement are getting louder by the day. Red Bull isn't just licking its wounds, they're doing it with one eye on the balance sheet. The financial fallout from Tsunoda's crashes has already forced them to dip into their 2026 development budget, money that was meant for the future but is now being burned on spare parts. In a tightly capped world, every cent spent on repairs is one less spent on Verstappen's title charge. It's the same simple rule applied across the grid, whether you're driving for Red Bull or Alpine: bring the car home, score points, don't make life harder for the team. And right now, Tsunoda isn't ticking any of those boxes. Behind the scenes, young guns like Isaac Hadjar and Arvid Lindblad are sharpening their knives, ready to pounce the moment a seat cracks open. If Yuki doesn't flip the script soon, he might just be handing over his shot to the very names watching from the shadows. Tsunoda didn't dodge responsibility for the crash. He faced the music head on. "Just really stupid from myself," he admitted, pushing unnecessarily hard. "We had a lot of changes to the car. Pushing that hard without understanding enough about it, just very unnecessary." It was a raw, honest take, but honesty alone won't secure his future in a cockpit as competitive and unforgiving as Red Bull's. And while a P10 finish might look like damage control on paper, it didn't erase the blunder from the minds of F1 experts. Jacques Villeneuve was quick to highlight the deeper issue. Tsunoda isn't just battling poor decisions, he's battling time, as Red Bull eyes the next generation of talent. Take Isaac Hadjar, for instance. The young Frenchman didn't just hold his own, he made a statement. Cool under pressure, smart with strategy, and opportunistic during the virtual safety car, he walked away with 2 crucial points and a growing reputation. Tsunoda finished behind him again. That's a scoreboard that matters. And here's where it gets more serious. Red Bull isn't just racing for wins, they're fighting for every constructor's point. With Ferrari and Mercedes Mercedes gearing up for major upgrades. Any weak link, especially one that bends the car, is a liability they can't afford. If Tsunoda continues down this path, he's not just risking his seat, he's threatening to expose a soft spot in Red Bull's armor right when their rivals are getting ready to pounce. Jacques Villeneuve didn't hold back when dissecting the chaos of qualifying. "What a crazy Saturday. 2 crashes, 2 big crashes. We're not used to that," he remarked before tossing the real grenade. Does it mean the extremely competitive and impressive Hajar this year will replace Tsunoda soon? A bold question, but not an unfounded one. Let's talk results. Isaac Hajar started 9th, finished 9th. A clean, composed drive that could have been even better had the safety car not thrown a wrench into his strategy. Tsunoda, on the other hand, owes his 10 pesos entirely to that very safety car. Yes, climbing from the pit lane to the points is noteworthy, but context matters, and in this case, it softens the shine. Hajar is now walking the very path Tsunoda once did, driving for the junior team, pushing the limits, and auditioning for a bigger role. The difference? Hajar's nailing the brief. He's not only holding his own against Tsunoda, but also outclassing Liam Lawson. After a rocky start to the season, Hajar has turned a corner, and he's doing it at exactly the right time. For Racing Bulls, this resurgence is more than just a feel-good story. Every point matters in the Constructors' Championship, especially when the prize money hinges on every place. Hajar's form could literally shift the financial fate of the team, potentially unlocking tens of millions in rewards. And while Helmut Marko may have publicly backed Tsunoda's seat security until the season's end, Red Bull is not a team known for patience. If a driver can't stay close to Verstappen, or worse, keeps wrecking expensive machinery, those guarantees can evaporate fast. Tsunoda needs to prove he's more than just fast. He needs to prove he's indispensable. Right now, that's looking like a tough sell. Tsunoda was tasked with defending against Piastri, but the McLaren driver breezed past him far too easily. With older tyres, sure, it wasn't ideal, but would Perez have made it that easy? Probably not. And that's the concern. In tight battles, Red Bull needs more than just effort. They need results. Helmut Marko has already labelled Hajar the revelation of the season. Calm, consistent, and quick, the French rookie is doing everything Tsunoda once did, and more. Add Lindblad into the mix, and suddenly there are 3 strong contenders for 2 seats. If Yuki's crashes continue, Red Bull might fast-track Hajar to the senior team, hand Lindblad the Racing Bulls seat, and quietly move on. The Honda connection has helped Tsunoda stick around, but performance speaks louder, and right now Red Bull's patience may be running thin. Is it time to consider a change? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, goodbye for now.